All right, guys, I gotta tell you, man. I come up here and I say this a lot, and I really do mean it. And videos like this is proof that what I'm saying is true. The Democrat Party really does think that their base is dumb. They think that they are appealing to people who are not very smart, informed, or educated, which is interesting to me because there's this trope from the mainstream liberal media that Fox News and Republicans are appealing to dumb, ignorant, white, uneducated conservatives. This is what they say. And they say that because having a college degree means that you're more likely to vote Democrat, which in my opinion, that doesn't come to the conclusion that the liberal media thinks it comes to, which means that, oh, well, Democrats are appealing to smarter people, because it has become clear to me that having a college degree does not mean that you're smart, or much less even informed or educated about the issues that you're voting on. In fact, I think that having a college degree actually may be dumbing you down. And if not dumbing you down, then definitely brainwashing you with far left woke liberal ideology, right? And it should be clear to anybody that watches my channel that the Democrat Party is actually the party that is trying to appeal to people that they think are dumb, because they just always overtly just distort reality or just flat out lie. And some recent interviews from Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris that I want to talk about really kind of prove my point, as they actually really do think that voters, that the American people are stupid. I'm so serious.
And the fact is that when I hear people talk about inflation, as I heard him there, we have to change that subject. Inflation is a global phenomenon. Yes. The EU, the European Union, the UK, the British have higher inflation rate than we do here. It's not, the fight is not about inflation, it's about the cost of living.
But on things like sending, those $1,400 checks, putting cash out there. That's right. I mean, didn't that end up contributing to inflation? Do you have any regrets about the bills you passed and how you structured them?
No, absolutely not, because that was necessary for people to survive. Our purpose
was that it was inflationary.
But the point is that when you reduce unemployment, it's inflationary. That is a fact.
Wow. Incredible stuff. Did you guys catch her saying that it's not about inflation, it's about the cost of living, which is inflation? Right? That is inflation. Boy, I'm just saying, I can't do anything but laugh, because that's how stupid they think that you are. Okay, they think they can just change the subject. Like Nancy Pelosi said, when y'all talk about inflation, we got to change the subject. Change the subject, right? She said that inflation, right, putting more cash into the economy, having too many dollars chasing too few goods and services, which is by definition what causes inflation. No. That didn't cause inflation. It's a global problem. It's a global problem, right? Don't worry. All the other countries that did the exact same thing that we did, which is, again, flood their economies with cash, okay, to the point where, again, we had demand that was too strong to match the supply of goods. No. We take no responsibility for that, because it's a global problem, right? In fact, they're going as far as to now say that inflation is a myth.
Joining me now to discuss this great inflation myth that I just talked about and what's at stake in next month's midterms, transformed into something that Republicans, in particular running for Congress, are blaming Joe Biden and Democrats for specifically, when in fact there is no economic evidence or mathematical evidence or any other kind of evidence that that's actually true.
It's absolutely not true. But isn't it interesting, with everything else that's going on in the world, that is the sole issue that the Republicans can rest on. And as we fight for democracy, bringing back voting rights, making it safe and accessible, when we talk about rights for women to choose, when we talk about education in the crisis that student debt is putting on our economy, lawsuits are filed. But that's their single issue, and you can say what you want about a Republican, but they know how to market their agenda.
Yeah, so essentially what the Democrats are saying here is that you need to worry about everything else besides what is actually hurting you the most in your everyday life, right? You need to worry about voting rights, because apparently you don't have those anymore. Women's rights, but don't worry about the women. that are currently losing their rights to men because they're being forced to share spaces with men in the name of LGBTQ rights. And they also want you to worry about student loan debt, which is something that a majority of Americans don't have, right? So again, you see what's going on here, right? Democrats want to make sure that no matter what, we're not talking about what is actually hurting everyday working class Americans that have to get up and go to the gas station, right? To get gas, put on their car so they can go to work, right? And then go and make a wage that is being outpaced by inflation. When they go to the store, they have to pay more for goods and services. And, don't worry about that, right? What you actually be worried about is, very niche problems like student loan debt, right? Or abortion, okay? Or voting rights. Again, this is why you're losing. You're simply not in touch, right? Democrats, I can't figure out if they're out of touch with reality. Are they simply just out of touch, or do they think that you're dumb, right? And I think that this interview right here from Kamala Harris, I think confirms that both of those things are probably the case. Take a look.
I want to ask you, the Minnesota GOP is holding a press conference this afternoon to criticize you for your support a couple of years ago, before you were the vice president, for something called the Minnesota Freedom Fund that was really set up to help those who were arrested in the aftermath of the George Floyd riots, help them get out. It's since been sort of morphed into something else and has been used to help people get out who've been accused of many other crimes. Do you have any thoughts about this?
Well, first of all, I am a child of parents who marched for civil rights in the 1960s in America. And I have always been and will always be a supporter of peaceful protests. Many peaceful protests over the history of our country have led to an expansion of rights and an expansion of civil rights. So that's where I stand on peaceful protest. And I think that, unfortunately, what we're seeing is people are playing political games right now. We're 18 days away from midterms, and we have sadly not seen a lack of misinformation and disinformation. And I think this is another one of those examples.
Yeah, so Kamala Harris says that it is misinformation/disinformation to say that she tweeted support, or that she supported the Minnesota Freedom Fund, which is a fund that has let criminals out of jail, right? Posted their bail. And then those criminals had went on to commit crimes such as rape, okay, and also murder. Yeah, she says it's misinformation/disinformation to say she supported that when she literally has the tweet still up on her account, which she is telling people to support the Minnesota Freedom Fund to help bail out criminals. But she just went on national TV and said that is misinformation/disinformation for you to say that. Again, I can't figure out, does she think that you're stupid, that we can't go look, or does she just not know? Does she not know or remember that she tweeted this out? Again, I think both of those could be reasonable explanations, in the sense that, does she run her own account? Probably not, right? So she probably doesn't even know that this is up on her account. But again, it goes to show you what the default is for the Democrats. Anytime you call them out on something that, even if it's factually correct, their default is to say, no, it's not true. It's misinformation/disinformation because it's not the right narrative, right? It doesn't matter what the actual truth is. If it doesn't fit the narrative, if it makes us look bad, then therefore it is misinformation/disinformation. And again, you might want to wonder, where are the fact checkers on this, right? Where are the fact checkers? Well, they're nowhere to be found, okay? Because again, it doesn't fit the narrative. However, the one fact check that we do have from the Washington Post says that to say that Kamala Harris helped violent rioters in Minnesota get out of jail to do more damage, that needs context, right? You need more context, okay? You need more context. We need to add more context. Well, what more context do you need than the fact that she literally tweeted support, told people to go donate, okay, while she was on the campaign trail as vice president? The vice presidential nominee told people to go donate to a fund that was bailing out people who went on to commit murder. I don't know what more context do you need. She supported it. She flat out supported it. It is what it is. But again, this is just a prime example of how Democrats think that you are stupid. They think you're stupid. They flat out just lie to your face. And they don't even try to sugarcoat it. They don't try to dance around it. Nancy Pelosi says, we need to change the conversation on inflation. Right? It's not about inflation. It's about the cost of living, which is inflation. Right? Kamala Harris says the Minnesota Freedom Fund, to say that I supported that is misinformation, disinformation. She still has the tweet up on her account, right, of her actively supporting it. Again, if you go out here and you vote for Democrats, I just want you to understand you're voting for people who think that you're stupid. Okay? They think that you're stupid. I just want you to understand that. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.